No, you see, Prof, we are running a government. I will cite just one example. Pokwasi interchange. Bawumia went there to commission. What did he tell us? That when we came, the Pokwasi interchange, we didn't add a peswa. It was a 3-tier. We added a 4th tier. What is the implication of that statement?
And the 4th tier would have gone to somebody's pockets.
Beautiful. What is the implication of that statement? Prof, what is the implication of? It's like you've given me money, 100,000 to build a 4-bedroom. Then I'm building somewhere along the line, so hand over to Bless. Then Bless come and say, you see, Prof gave 100,000.
Whenever I say my PENDREAM TV there, I see them, yopo.
You are once again welcome to PENDREAM TV, the only channel that brings you the best and latest updates in politics. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, like and also share to other members to watch as well. You can equally leave a comment at the comment section after watching or send us a voice note on our WhatsApp number, which is 0277-128-777. Thank you for making time with us again. Please stay tuned for more. Stay tuned.
Go to Honorable Ataboadey to share his thoughts with us on the latest developments in Nigeria, Africa's most populous country.
Yes. Let me once again say that good morning to our viewers and to ourselves here. Yes, 20,000 flee from Nigeria. Which state?
That's Maiduguri.
Maiduguri,
yeah.
And it has not been the first time they've been taken off from Maiduguri. Maiduguri has been the center of most insurgents activities within the West African sub-region, especially in Nigeria where they are located. And we, those around the West Coast, for that matter, Africa cannot run away from the dangers of insurgency and its consequences on the people that it affects wherever they are found. And especially between Nigeria and then Ghana, it's just like traveling from here to Kintampo or Tamale. We are almost like neighbors, and the Nigerians find refuge and they find so much peace when they are here, just like Ghanaians do. We have a lot of our population there. We cannot even say for sure that even those who flee, the 20,000 that flee from Maiduguri, whether they will not be Ghanaians there too. There's the possibility that they are not only Nigerians, and they are even other West African people. Because wherever you are located on this globe, when there's no peace, where life is at threat, life and properties are at threat, you obviously find yourself gallivanting from one state to another in terms of securing your life and peace and so on. But you see, most of these things, you look at the historical antecedent. Yesterday, I picked an Uber driver, and he was lamenting about how the Togolese president has gradually ingratiated himself into, if you call it, a life leader by the way he has changed the constitution to suit his whims and caprices, just to perpetuate power. And we're talking, and then we related it to the Ibrahim Traore of Cote d'Ivoire, and the guy was giving me some suggestions. I enjoyed the ride and then the discussions. But you see, now who calls them? Sometimes these our democratic leaders who come under the guise of democracy and turn around to even be worse than the worst military government you can think of. It's the cause of these things. No human being would want to live under pressure, especially when you are working hard to earn a decent income. Then you find the government that you voted into power subjugate you with taxes, with laws, with inhuman treatment, with disrespect, with tribal bigotry. And that when it does that, what do the human spirit do? You resist it. So at the point of resistance, you do not even care who resists. Be they even insurgents, be they within the political party or the party itself, you are waiting to see a system that makes life and property safe and peace for the growing number of our kids and so on. If you check well, you will have seen that if the demography comes, you will have seen that those who are flying from these dangerous states are mostly women and children who are the vulnerable in our society. And that is the creme de la creme of our society, because, look, you cannot take away from the fact that the youth are our future leaders. We must take good care. They need to attend schools. They need to have peace to learn. They need to sit in infrastructure that befits them. They need to have food and nutrition, shelter, clothing, and protection. But if you find a democratically elected president who comes under the guise of democracy and turn his regime into a near or absolute rule, then the people will resist. We are moving from. So for me, looking at all this and look at the antecedent, the history to which we went, I was not happy at the time the Boko Haram started. I said, Nigeria cannot nip these people in the bud. Nigeria of all people, but go behind the scenes and you see that there are political elements or actors behind these people, because probably for a long time they've not had power and so on. We have had a near situation here where we've had political actors even calling for something to happen so that people lose power. Look, let me cite very good examples. Look, in the year 2000, when Rawlings was in power, we had a situation where even dead bodies were transported and put in various areas, and people came mourning the dead bodies, yet they had no relationship with them, creating a state of insecurity, creating a state that the government was, the security of the state was not protecting the people of this country, because people wanted power. It eventually made the Rawlings government at the time very unpopular. Very, very unpopular. I remember even at the time I was at the University of Ghana, I got cringe. I said, but I was very young. I said, but who are those killing the people in this country like that? Hide as a day pass. So the opposition elements have also become a platform when they feel that the route to winning power is so narrow and has been close to their getting access to it. They get in link with these insurgents, be they local or international, to maneuver on their behalf. At the end of the day, what is power for? Power is for the people, and power emanates from the people. Once we begin to understand that power emanates from the people, and the ultimate power is for the people to enjoy, then we as leaders and political leaders must act in accordance and in conformity with the law that brought the people into power. But you see, even in Ghana here, before these elections, things were going wrong. And look, there were a lot of maneuvers here in Ghana here before these elections. I remember Professor Raymond Aturiga, the dean of the Faculty of Law, coming out to say that he has information that they were planning to overthrow the Akufo-Addo's government, and so on. We continue to hear daily, if you call it, unconfirmed reports. And even the president at the time himself came and literally begged that they should allow him to finish his term. We heard Dr. Nyaho Tamakulu talking about coup was right and so on. Why was coup wrapped under a democracy? Where did the government go wrong there? Were the government so belligerent? Were they listening? Were they responding to the needs of the people? Were they doing things arbitrarily? Was that what the people voted for? And if we hadn't taken time and this democracy had fallen, it would have been disastrous. Look, people don't know how these things turn out. People, even your own political party, who are disgruntled, you call them the fifth columnist. They act against the establishment of the day, the fifth columnists within the political party. They act against the establishment of the day, because they do not even, what they themselves join the political party to win, their objectives, their manifesto. They found out that when they are completely different from what those who are in the helm of affairs are implementing. So not just the ordinary people, not the population that did not also contributed to the win of that political party, but even those who contributed to it become so disillusioned, become so much frustrated. What do? If they can, you know what they do? They even join a political opposition that they know they'll win the party in order to get their own political parties out of power, so that they can regroup or reorganize their political party and take the party into their hands. If we don't begin Africa to look at what young people like Ibrahim Traore is doing. He's trying to bring life to the doorstep of the people. And you see, coup d'etats, yes, they are coup d'etats. They are brought by the barrel of the gun. But they can also be a democratic element within it when the generality of the population supports it. If there's a coup d'etat and over 80% supports it, it's no more absolutism. It is no more by the barrel of the gun, but it's about the wishes of the people and aspirations that resonates well with that coup d'etat. So the coup makers become comfortable and they're even protected. Look, I was discussing with a friend, I said, it will come a time. If Ibrahim Traore continues with this way, the people themselves will protect him. If Ibrahim Traore continues this way, no coup will come. You know what? When the coup comes, the people will rise again and immediately ask for reinstatement. We've seen it. Look at Rajapaksa in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, he was elected and he turned the place into his own style of ruling. The people went with their weapons and removed him. A helicopter picked him from the presidential palace out. We can cite several examples where the power of the people is more than nuclear weapons and atomic energy. You understand? So for me, it's a lesson, and I hope our brothers in Nigeria would continue to collaborate within the West African sub-region to ensure that these insurgents are flushed out completely. They've made life ungovernable for the ordinary citizen in Nigeria. I've been traveling to Nigeria. The last time was in Abuja, a lovely place. The time I used to go, the food was so cheap. Now things have become very expensive in Nigeria because of all these things. So for me, I'm hoping that it's not just our brothers in Nigeria who are facing this hardship and the challenges of insurgency. It's lacking around our borders if we don't also take issues that the people feel that they are part of the government. Let the people feel part of the governance and we see how it goes. This is just my take on it.
Right, thank you. Shame on him. Okay, all right, thank you for your message. Let me come to you, Honorable Timothy Ataboadey. There's an assertion out there that your government isn't spending, you are not paying contractors, and all of these may be contributory factors to the fact that we are not seeing a surge in the dollar as against the Cedi. But we are touting some policy initiatives by this government that it's what's actually accruing to the benefit of the local currency. Your thoughts?
Let me say, I've enjoyed Prof's initial analysis. But he ended somewhere, and I'll start from there. Then truly, I think London talked about the consequences of the economy developing into a natural 24-hour economy. I think that's the best I've heard. It is true. When the economy is doing well, it would eventually have a 24-hour economy. Mm-hmm. And in the Western world, or in the European and developed country, it in itself mutated from the incipient stage of rural economy into cities and large economic scales that has brought it like that. But you see, our 24-hour economy, in order to allow it to grow, that's why we brought in some policies we call tax exemptions, tax rebates. Mm-hmm. We also talked about the reduction in electricity, water, and all doses, including ensuring that we have 24-hour security. You know, when you are bringing a policy, it must be thought through. We've moved from the days when policies are just thrown to the electorate. And I keep telling people that these days the youth have copious information by the press of a knob, an IT knob, and they know where it is, and they can make comparative analysis of the situation. So I agree with him that once the economy begins to develop and human movement becomes brisk, business is brisk, the infrastructure is laid out, people can travel from Sanoma within 24 hours, they're in Accra, buy their goods and return the same 24-hour economy. In fact, that is where we should be aiming at. And I think that over the years, over the decades, if we had focused like that, we would have gone somewhere. Even if it is one industry That is doing 24 hours. Let's applaud it. The difference between you running a 24 hours and I'm running the 24-hour economy is a policy that you need to register. It hasn't just come wholesale that because I am running the two of us are running 24-hour economy is naturally should fall in. No, you must register so we can track you so that you can benefit from the rebates that comes with it. So if the two of us are selling water for 24-hour economy, and I say I don't want the Ghana's policy of 24 hours, I will still be doing 24 hours, but not the 24-hour economic policy that the government is doing. For instance, we're doing free HSS for public schools. If you are turning private SS, you pay fees. So if you don't want to pay fees, what do? You go to the public schools. That is the simple explanation. Do you get it? Do you get it? We are running secondary school. Public schools are enjoying fee-free. We came with a stress-free fee for first-year students. Public institutions. If you want to get there and you are turning Asiasi, you are not going to get that free. Are you getting the point? If you are in a private institution, you are not going to get the first year fee free. So the policy must be distinct. And like London said, it's a policy. It's not a one-day issue. So I was surprised when Prof said that you cannot keep the lights on for 24 hours. You want to run a 24-hour economy. Really? Really, Prof? Really? Why is the comparison? Already we've come to meet an energy sector that is choked with unpaid debt, over 80 billion. ECG alone owes 60 billion. You think that the state resources are like that of the legendary Kimidas, so you can touch anything is gold. We have to mobilize the resources, pay off these debts, and sustain the lights. We just read our budget in March. We read the budget in March. Today, doing so is ours. Galamsey is ours. But the good ones is not NDC. How do you talk like that? And I'll come to the policy. What does Bawumia want us to do? To acknowledge him? Or to say that the policies that we are building...
He's saying that prior to some of the...
Should we acknowledge him?
Honorable, yes. Because Ghana had just 8.7 tons of gold. Before that policy was introduced, now we have 30 tons. Give the man his credit. Some 21.3 tons have been added.
Credit. You land But you see, don't distort me. I'll come there.
Right.
So he needs credit. He knows that it's good to give credit to your predecessors. Prof, is that not it? If I took over from Prof, and Prof, I should acknowledge that. Is that not it? Do we agree? Since when did he learn that? Since when did Bawumia learn that? Bawumia should start irritating us in this country. He's annoying me. Please. I don't want that, please. Bawumia should stop the childish economies. No, you see, Prof, we are running a government. I will cite just one example. Pokuasi interchange. Bawumia went there to commission. What did he tell us? That when we came, the Pokuasi interchange, we didn't add a peswa. It was a 3-tier. We added a 4th tier. What is the implication of that statement?
And the 4th tier would have gone to somebody's pockets.
Beautiful. What is the implication of that statement? Prof, what is the implication of? It's like you've given me money, 100,000 to build a 4-bedroom. Then I'm building somewhere along the line, so hand over to Bless. Then Bless come and say, you see, Prof gave 100,000. When I came, I didn't add a Cedi, but I made a 5-bedroom. Is that what Bawumia told us? Was Bawumia not aware that Terminal 3 was completed, and yet up to today they were talking, they never commissioned it? Where John Mahama did well, they impugned corruption. Where he started before they came, and the project completed, they never commissioned them. That is how ungrateful people like that, who won the mandate of these people, overwhelming at the time, 167, MPs. And that's how they use the resource. I'm coming, Bless, just give me time. You see, the NPP should not talk. You know what, Prof? When government appointed the ministers, they had the best opportunity to interrogate our ministers at the vetting committee to bring all these policy lapses up. What did they do at the vetting committee? Oh, are you an old student of this? Can you sing national anthem? Oh, are you a lodge member? Are you a Santa? Can you dance? Is your girlfriend wearing earrings? St. George, your wife paid your school fees. Is that what an operation should do? Government appoints, Prof, listen, government is appointed. Put in your best. Ask them policy issues. You were asking them to dance, to sing local songs. Which school did you go? Are you a lodge member? Huh? You said this about the Chief Justice. You said this about Akufo-Addo. Can you now? They lost it. They lost it, and they should keep their mouth shut forever, because the people of this country appreciate and know what it does to them. Now listen, we'll come to the gold issue. Under the previous government, you borrowed, the total envelope of borrowing was $30 billion. Europe was alone 13 billion. In your first 2 years, where were the investments that could have sustained? The DDEP that we went into was not as a result. It was deliberately created because you frivolously spend the taxpayers' money into unproductive areas of the economy. Check this. When we brought our Ataboadey gas, yearly was being spent of $400 million. $400 million, oh, because we're not importing gas. Today, Cosmos has come back. They are investing $2 billion into a new gas station. As I talked this morning, Talo has started to drill oil again. These are concrete investment you cannot run away from. The Terminal 3 that we brought, that was facilitating movement of people. And Terminal 3, by the way, it was the balance sheet of the Ghana Airports Company money that they used, and they've paid off. The expansion of the Temaport, the NPS, you know how much it was coming in a day? Yeah, about 2-3 weeks ago, you saw the biggest ship liner in the world. It cannot land anywhere. It landed in Tema. You saw it. That was why they were giving the salute. And the captain was hailed, because there's nowhere in the West African coastline in Africa that ship can dock. It docked here, and the Navy vessel was in front, giving it a salute. That was why you saw the water that way. It has never docked in this part of the world. It is so big that it cannot. It docked at Tema because of someone's vision. Because of someone's vision, it docked there. In any case, Bawumia is saying that we didn't put up a policy. We have not paid contractors. Really? Who created the contract debts? So we should come and be paying your contract debts. Without, who is that prudent government that has come that will not do forensic audit into bloated contracts? We should come and be distributing what money in the economy will run haywire. Where you left it at 16 cedis to $1. Prof, if you were a vice chancellor, and then your predecessor gave contracts and you took over, you come and start paying without not doing due diligence to what he did. You paid $58 million into a hole that never was. We should come and pay them. Bank of Ghana ran at a loss. If they were rating central banks in the world, Ghana Bank was it was like Zumi Lion. Bank of Ghana. They owed so much. They printed money. You remember when we raised the issue about the printing of money? What were they printing the money for? They told them if they hadn't printed the money, the economy would have completely gone aground. Rating agencies gave us restrictive default. You remember, Prof, I'm here this morning. Look, policies have sunset clause. Policies are not just allowed to go. They have sunset clause. They equal have maturity time. Is that not, Prof? If that is so, did Bawumia indicate to us that the goal for oil in the year 2025 would yield this result. Did he indicate that in his policy of gold for what do you go gold for oil? You think if you had come to continue on the same trajectory, the dollar would have maintained at that level. In any case, these rating agencies, did they also foresee and rated that the gold for oil in the year 2025 would yield this result? They should give us the ratings. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because in 2016, Prof, you are aware that in 2016, when we're in power, and then things were difficult for us, you know, the rating agencies told us that it does not matter which political party wins power in 2016 and 2017. But we had built the infrastructure such a way that it was time for the economy to take off. You remember that rating? So they projected into the future. Are you with me, Bless? They projected, they projected into the future. When they came and things were good, did they acknowledge it? They only told us that, look, it was because there were economic whiskets. There were what not, prudent managers of the economy. Is that not what you told us? Today, inflation, look, it's a culmination of factors that has led to where we are now. You cannot look. The issue of foreign exchange is an issue of demand and supply. Prof knows that it's an issue of demand and supply. At this period, we've brought in more, inflows than we are demanding. So in an economy where people are not demanding more foreign currencies, naturally the cedi will stabilize. With the gold for oil, this is a news, this is a joint news and other news. And this was reported by Gold for Oil. I'll come to that. Ghana's small-scale gold export for the first 4 months of 2025 hit 2.7 billion. Ghana's small-scale gold export for the first 4 months of 2025 hit that. I'll come to that. You see, and I agree with Prof. Look, if an economy, the export drive must come in. We must do more investments to ensure that we sustain. I'm looking at sustainability, like you said, and Prof to mention it. If the cedi is 1 to the dollar, good for us.
Yeah.
Bawumia should rather even be pressing us, even if this is policy and we maintain. We've seen government that have come to abandon other parties' policies. We've seen government like that. So even if this because he had these policies and his own government refused to implement them. His own government, when he was the vice president, head of the economic team, he suggested, because by what he's saying, he's telling us that he suggested to Akufo-Addo, and Akufo-Addo didn't do it, and then this came and did it. By what he says, is that not true? Yeah, we can glean from what he's saying is that he knew these things. He told Akufo-Addo and then Ken Ofori-Atta, and they refused. So the policies are now yielding maturity. That's why we are gaining that. He should be candid to admit. He should be candid to admit. For the first time, what did we do? We were selling Bawumia at the Ministry of Agric.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were selling Bawumia there. Because we couldn't feed ourselves. Before they left power, they were talking about issues of Ukraine and what? Russia war. Were they telling us about gold for oil? And the gold for oil, you see what is nauseating about it, Prof? The gold that we sent to buy. We were not using the gold to buy the oil. You know what we were doing? There was a middleman that takes the gold, buy, and give us the dollars. So that was why the fuel wasn't coming down. The fuel got even up to 20 cedis per liter.
21.
In any case, what will I prefer, Prof? If even for implementing your policies and the cedi is appreciating, why? Is it not good, like Prof said this morning? For the first time, frivolous expenditure. Look at how state institutions have been run down. Look at the tax refund, amount. They were using these funds as slush funds, not in any productive venture in the slush funds. So, Prof, the question we have to ask ourselves this morning is, do we genuinely say that state institutions don't break even? They don't make profit? Because individuals make profit. Is it not it? Individuals make profit in state agencies who say they don't make profit, and for that matter, we should cancel them. How can an individual allegedly be taking 41,000 Ghana cedis as allowance every week? If they were not making profit, how can one fellow be taking 41,000 Ghana cedis and buying luxury cars? Do we need luxury cars to run state institutions? Prof, tell me. Maybe a Corolla, and you have your 4 wheels to go out there to see. But we're buying luxury cars for state institutions, spending government money to acquire private property. One fellow can spend over $7 million buying a whole gated community. It means that the state agencies, when they are properly run, they can save, and then they will employ more and contribute. One of the major issues about the 24-hour economy is also to target export, because it's an 8-hourly job. If we produce more and we cannot consume, we will export to our various countries and so on. So for me, it's not a banter between Bawumia and John Mahama. They should give us a break. The goal for oil, when we took over power by December 2024, Prof, we had 30 tons of gold sitting in the Bank of England for Ghana, and yet the exchange rate was at 16. We added 1 ton, and the exchange rate has come down. If indeed that gold for oil and the policy for the Bank of Ghana to buy gold was enough to bring the dollar down and appreciate the cedi, then at 30 tons, the dollar should have been brought to even 5 cedis. If we added just 1 ton, because now that we are talking, we've added only just 1 ton. And if 1 ton, 30 could not bring the dollar down, and 1 ton can do the magic, that is a good policy for us. And the policy is that we brought the gold board. And now it is illegal to trade gold apart from acquiring the license and trading it within this country. No foreigner is allowed to do that. You understand? So these things, we must note them down. First, policies have sunset clauses. 2, policies have maturity period. And Bawumia did not tell us when they were leaving and doing their handing over notes. When they handed over their notes to us, they did not indicate that the goal for oil by, by May will bring the dollar and this and that. He didn't say that. So you cannot no such do a retrospective analysis and post-mortem economic somersaults and tell that we won't tell him. He's not the one. We are not implementing this, but we are not going to tell you, Bawumia. In fact, our policy is that the people of this country feel better now. Businesses are confident. They are dancing on social media. Rather than other ones. So for me, we have done what we could. Like my brother, the other day they said that if NDC was in power, the dollar would have gone to 25 Ghana. Is that not what they told us? NDC is in power. The daughter has defied your prophecy. Acknowledge that you're a false prophet. You said no, you're not a prophet, a false prophet. What are you telling me? You say if we were in power, the dollar would have gone this. As we talk, the total debt for this country, we are paying 64 billion this year at the end of the month. And the total amount of debt that we are paying, do you know what? It is more than the budgetary allocation to the Ministry of Health. It's more than the budgetary allocation to education. We are paying 64 billion at the end of this year because of the DDEP. So that amount could have been pushed into, can you imagine that if that amount, 64 billion, is pushed into just road constructions? That is why we are, if people don't know, 64 billion at the end of this year, we're paying that. So what policy is he talking about? So you see, he should rather be helping and telling people that. That's why I'm saying that even the confidence alone we've injected into the economy is enough policy. These are intangibles. But people read the data and they can project into the future and see that it is now the rightful area to do what? Investments. What do you call it? I wanted to see something, to hear something from the governor and then the finance minister, which my brother, I think the two of them reiterated, the sustainability for which the finance minister, it's not going to be a 9-day wonder. The policies they've put in place, in fact, if we're able to stabilize for the next 2 years, I think things will calm down because importers will benefit and so on and so forth. The president has equally told us that we should hold on. We should look at the mid-year budget review in August. The mid-year budget will bring more goodies. That is where we can now have the real figures to be able to do the prudent analysis that we are trying to do. All what we are doing are the figures that intermittently the Bank of Ghana or the Minister for Finance releases to us to do. Prof has questioned about the gold buying, the amount of money and so on. Maybe at the mid-year budget, it will come out for us to do proper analysis. But for me, you see, Bawumia, they should hasten slowly. This kind of ejaculation where it is done prematurely for them to see that they are winning political dividends. Once I should take what?
Yes.
They should stop. And for me, it is early to start opposing a regime that generally is doing well by public perception. You do that, when you do that, you create despondency and you create hatred for you because you couldn't do it and I'm doing. Look at Hoptel. Hoptel is a private application we used to pay this thing. Look at how much we are paying for Hoptel. Is that a good policy? Is that a good policy? It means that most of your policies were, look at free, what do you call it? Frontiers Health Services. Made billions of dollars. Is that how we should be treating the Ghanaians? Even in terms of COVID,
the one at the airport.
At the airport. Yeah. Look at what happened. None of the ministers could tell us that company who brought it. None of them. You know, it got to something. They said they should wait for Ken Oforiatta to come because the minister for what do you call it? Transport could not tell. Procurement minister could not tell. No one could tell. Minister of Health could not tell. No one could tell how they got themselves here. Then we say, okay, for Ken Oforiatta, he doesn't lie. When he comes back, we know the one who brought it. Ken Oforiatta came before he doesn't know. Is that how to run a government? To fleece these things for foreign companies and so on. Right. Look at the Al Jazeera goal by Alistair Matthias. It was a stinker.
It was a satire. They said they were going to sue if they didn't approve.
It was a satire on the presidency. They wanted to see, and Al Jazeera told them that they still hold on their file because they contacted them before they did the publication, and they should go on and sue them. Up to today, do we want a government that goes and that was internationally scandalized? That they were a conduit through which resources belonging to this government was being fleeced out by illegal people. When we reported the gold at the time, remember, the Indians came and said, no, they bought more gold than what we are reporting and so on. So if the gold board has come, even as a policy, what does it do? It blocked the leakages. All these conduits has been blocked. Let us begin to look at what this can do so that we take advantage, so that by the time the city will depreciate again, we are already there. We would have acquired what we want to acquire before we go. But for me, I think that Bawumia should stop talking. He's not helping himself.
All right, thank you very much. Good morning, sir. The city's stability is not by chance or accident, but by fiscal discipline and prudent management, not the trade war. Why are the SA Rand and Naira nose diving in spite of the trade war? We had gold for oil, yet Ghana was epic and bankrupt under NPP. What NPP couldn't do in 8 years, GM has done in 120 days, even better. We can't take moral lessons from NPP after looting and giving us pension head cards, kinky parties, polluted water bodies, ghost names, missing containers to create doomsday and to destabilize the state. NPP never again. Ken Williams sent this one. When has Bawumia become an economist again? I thought he was a digital man. Okay, thank you. Good morning, Bless. All your panelists. Good morning, Bless, and to all your panelists. It's Afenyo Markin who asked people to be dancing at the vetting committee. Was he Afenyo Markin asked to dance when he was being vetted? Shame on to him. He's just an arrogant man in parliament. Everyone has now realized that Afenyo is just causing distortion in parliament. From Tola in Tamale. Thank you, Tola, for your message. This one here also says, Okay, let me see if I can get onto it. It said, good morning, Pan-African TV. It appears some people feel uncomfortable with the appreciation of the Ghana cedi against the major currencies instead of being happy with the situation as Ghanaians. Is it the case that it is exposing false economists and their bizarre economic theories? Whether the appreciation of the cedi is due to external factors or prudent economic measures, I think it's time. I think time will be the best judge. Uncle Gabi, I'll read this final one. It says, NPP should do the needful to advise African Makin to stop embarrassing himself. I think I've already done this message. Let me proceed to this one. To be very frank and candid, it's evident that some Ghanaian judicial officials, other technocrats and bureaucrats and public and civil servants are cynical and selfish, most committed to social meritocracy rather than dispensing holistic social democracy in Ghana. For it's evident that only the minority patricians who get insulated from legal punity when found guilty by law. Okay, this I don't know if it is related to the topic we are discussing. I don't think so, but this is where time would permit me to end today's conversation. Thank you so much, Mr. Philip Langdon. Thank you, Honorable Timothy Awuntiri Ataboadey. Thank you, Professor Isaac Boedi of the University of Professional Studies. It's been a very insightful conversation here on the show. I'm sure our viewers have enjoyed it as much as I have. Thank you to all of you who watched on Facebook and on YouTube. We had massive numbers on YouTube. Thank you so much for your time this morning. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, do have a pleasant.
Thank you for staying tuned. PENDREAM TV really appreciates your time and once again says, God bless you for the good work you are doing and continue to do for us. Please don't log out without subscribing. Subscribe for more videos. Like and also share to other new members to also have a feel of what is happening in the political arena. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for your time as well once again. Stay glued to the channel by subscribing. Thank you. Stay blessed.
Dedi kama amena PENDREAM TV ase. Now so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.